My blade is the pure embodiment of the storm. I am but a vessel for its glorious discharge. Donra, Storm Disciple. A Storm Disciple decides that the best, most glorious way to serve his ideals is through the natural power, fury, and splendor of the storm. While he retains knowledge of mantles, he might have come to feel that those mantles are of lesser value than his connection to the storm. A disciple delights in singing the song of the raging storm, of blackened skies where the thunder is born. He seeks to master the flow of electrical energy that infuses his weapon with power, becoming a conduit for that astonishing energy. Almost all storm disciples begin as divine minds or ardents. Ardents are often drawn to the universal truth embodied by the natural world and its energies. For them, becoming a storm disciple is a natural extension of their powers. Most divine minds who become storm disciples, on the other hand, are confident in their ability to serve their deity however they deem most fit, taking on the fury of the storm and their training in its use all on their own. Storm disciples take the power and fury of the storm and direct it in combat against their enemies. They can use this power to take an active role in combat, using their resistance and abilities to cut a swath through the field of battle.
A Storm Disciple gains additional power per day, an increase as Manifester, and access to new powers in a manifesting class to which he belonged to, before becoming a Storm Disciple. He does not, however, gain any other benefit of that class that the Storm Disciple would have gained. If he had more than one manifesting class before becoming a Storm Disciple, the Storm Disciple must decide which class to add, for the purpose of determining his powers each day, Manifester level, and powers known. Storm Disciples gain a special aura that is always active. He and his allies within the aura deal an extra electricity damage on weapon damage. The area affected by this aura increases as the Storm Disciple grows stronger. As the Storm Disciple grows stronger, he becomes increasingly resistant to electrical energy, gaining resistance to electricity. He and his mount, if any, can eventually walk or ride through natural or magical storms at regular speed, completely unaffected by high winds, including magically or psionically created high winds, pounding precipitation or waves, objects driven by the wind, which always seem to miss him, great claps of thunder, natural bolts of lightning, or any other natural storm phenomena. Soon after, a Storm Disciple's weapon gains a thundering special ability.
Storm Disciples are constant advocates for their beliefs through the power of storm, traveling the land and destroying any opposite-aligned cause that crosses their path with electrical fury. If she is a part of an organized church, the Storm Disciple is likely at the service of a stronger clergy, typically clerics. She might serve alongside paladins, whom Storm Disciples consider almost equal in divine favor. Storm Disciples rely on a combination of martial prowess combined with a connection to the power of storms to defeat their enemies. As he grows stronger, the Storm Disciple unlocks additional psionic abilities, though manifesting abilities will not be as developed as if he had not followed the call of the storm. The abilities through the Storm Disciple's focused study has granted him, however, more than make up for the lack of psionic advancement. As with any martial psionic powers in manifesting, swift action, or immediate action are great choices, because they don't force the Storm Disciple to choose between an action and a desired effect. Good choices include Burst, Catfall, Empty Mind, Evade Burst, Hustle, and Psionic Lion's Charge. When fighting with allies, the Storm Disciple serves as a frontline combatant, allowing other, less martial combatants some measure of safety while they employ their own combat skills, abilities, spells, or powers. She always loves it when it storms. As she trains to become a Storm Disciple, she finds herself meditating out among the elements. Observers might think she is insane, sitting out peacefully in furious thunderstorms that seem to rage all the fiercer for her presence. To the Storm Disciple, though, these moments of connection are sublime.
If the Storm Disciple is in the service of a deity, that is his greatest resource. As with most clerics and ardents, the Storm Disciple can usually count on his temple for sanctuary, food and shelter, as well as time for study, training, and meditation. Beyond the temple of their particular deity, all disciples eventually hear of a place called the Storm Citadel, a place where all Storm disciples are welcome, no matter their particular divine affiliation or lack thereof. Say what you will about yet own priests and such, but I'm telling you that Dante serves his god with the crashing thunder and blinding lightning. Jenny Dogwaddle, half-orc ranger and barstool philosopher. A Storm disciple need not be directly tied to a religious organization. One might be unaffiliated with any such group, and instead follow the power of the Storm. In the Eberron campaign setting, Storm disciples could work with the mysterious Blue Dragon Enclave rumored to be the source of lightning storms in the mountains of Adar, in southern Sarlona. These Storm disciples are followers of the Path of Light, but choose a more active role in the defense of their alpine refuge.
The Storm Citadel could be added near a mountain range where storms are frequent, such as the Adar Mountains in Eberron, or could be placed atop an island near a major coastline or waterway, since Lords of the Storm are typically revered in coastal regions. A storm-shrouded peak amid the Nelantha Isles in the Forgotten Realms setting would be a perfect place to set a citadel full of worshippers of Talos and Umberlee who revere the power of the storm. Some Storm disciples choose to be part of a hierarchy of a church or priesthood that accepts them. Given the martial nature of Storm disciples, these characters always serve the church in a military capacity. Some doctrines do not accept the devotion of a Storm disciple, so these disciples are forced outside the hierarchy, where they continue to serve their deity as rogue operatives. Those who have no church affiliation often eschew organizations altogether, choosing a small band of companions to help them proceed in their chosen quests. The most notable organization that includes Storm disciples is located in the legendary Storm Citadel. The Storm Citadel is a black iron and stone fortress built atop a high peak thrust up into the belly of a permanent flashing thunderstorm. Open parapets and balconies are subject to a constant stream of lightning strikes, howling winds, drenching rains, icy hail, and deafening thunder. Inside the many-roomed fortress, the elements are muted, but the shaking thunder, reflected flashes of exterior lightning, and strong, cool breezes find their way into every chamber.
The Storm Citadel's reputation isn't sterling, however, it is whispered among those who know of it that those who reside there have completely severed their ties with their former deity, if they ever had one in the first place, and instead worship only the howling madness of the thunderstorm. Despite what these stories describe, however, those who live in the Storm Citadel are not required to give up any previous affiliation or belief. All that is required is an ability to appreciate and survive the wild fury of a thunderstorm. The Storm Citadel is under the authority of a Storm disciple called White Mary, who is happy to let anyone come and stay who can survive the ascent to the fortress. Those who wish to become affiliated with the Storm Citadel gain some advantages of being a part of an organization, including contacts, inside information, a place to stay, and the camaraderie of fellow Storm addicts. Storm disciples who aspire to join also agree to take on tasks assigned by Storm Citadel elders from time to time.